Imagine, the world you know disappears, not because of war, not because of a catastrophe, but simply stops existing. Apocalypse, a word that scares. But it does not mean what we are used to thinking. From Greek, apocalypsis means revelation, not destruction, but the moment when what is hidden becomes visible. And then another question arises. What if the apocalypse is not the end, but a change in the form of reality? We are used to thinking that we live in a stable world, but Earth is not stability. It is a history of catastrophes, and scientific data shows that at least 5 global mass extinctions have already occurred. Permian extinction, the Great Suffocation, 252 million years ago. This was not an event, it was a process. Up to 96% of marine species disappeared, more than 70% of terrestrial vertebrates. Ocean temperatures rose to levels where life simply stops functioning. Carbon dioxide levels were several times higher than today. The cause: massive volcanic eruptions, the Siberian traps that lasted hundreds of thousands of years. This was not an explosion. It was a slow planetary suffocation. 66 million years ago, the impact that reset life. An asteroid 10 to 15 kilometers in diameter struck what is now the Gulf of Mexico. The energy of the impact is estimated at 100 million megatons. For comparison, all nuclear arsenals of humanity combined are only a tiny fraction of this scale. What happened next? The shock wave circled the planet several times. Surface temperatures rose to levels that ignited forests. Then a nuclear winter followed. Up to 75% of species disappeared. And this became the beginning of the age of mammals. Earth that became a ball of ice. There were periods when the planet almost completely froze. Scientific hypothesis: Snowball Earth. Ice cover reached almost to the equator. The average temperature dropped below -40 degrees Celsius. Oceans could be covered with ice hundreds of meters thick. Reflectivity amplified cooling even more, and yet, life survived. It survived where temperature was stable, where there were geothermal sources, and where there was no direct sunlight. Life did not disappear. It hid. Planets that have already died. Mars, a world that lost its atmosphere. Once the planet had rivers, lakes, possibly oceans, a denser atmosphere. Today, pressure is 100 times lower than Earth's, temperatures down to -60 degrees Celsius and lower, radiation on the surface up to 0.2 to 0.7 millisieverts per day. This is a planet that lost its protection. Venus, a heated Earth. Surface temperature 465 degrees Celsius. Pressure like at a depth of 900 meters in the ocean. Atmosphere 96% carbon dioxide. Clouds of sulfuric acid. This is an example of a runaway greenhouse effect, when a planet crosses the point of no return and becomes a hell with no chance of cooling. Cosmic risk that does not disappear. Every year, Earth receives about 40,000 tons of cosmic dust. Objects 20 to 50 meters in size fall once every hundreds to thousands of years. 140 meters can destroy regions. 1 kilometer is a global catastrophe. NASA tracks more than 30,000 near-Earth objects, but we only see what has already been discovered. The apocalypse. We create ourselves. We look for the end of the world in space, but the most dangerous one is here. Global warming plus 1.2 degrees Celsius already now. More than 12,000 nuclear warheads in the world. Biotechnologies that can change evolution. Artificial intelligence growing faster than regulation. This is not one scenario. These are parallel possibilities of the end. And for the first time in history, We are the cause of a potential apocalypse. When will it happen? Science does not give a date. It gives probabilities. Asteroid, unlikely but not zero. Climate, already in process. Technologies, unpredictable. The biosphere, vulnerable to change. Apocalypse is not an event, it is accumulation. And sometimes, the moment when it becomes obvious is already too late. But there is another apocalypse, not scientific, not cosmic, older. The one born in fears, beliefs, and visions of people. The apocalypse of faith. In the Christian tradition, it is described in the book of Revelation. This is not just a text. It is a dream, or a warning, a vision of a world reaching its limit, symbolic and disturbingly precise in its imagery. In this vision, the four horsemen appear. They do not come from the sky. They are already here. War, famine, disease, death. These are not characters, these are cycles. They pass through history again and again. In the fall of empires, in pandemics, in crises, in conflicts. And the most terrifying part, they do not invade our world, they are born within it. In the biblical vision, the world does not disappear immediately. It collapses gradually. Empires that seemed eternal fall. Cities full of life become empty. Order turns into chaos. This is a process, as if reality itself begins to crack at the seams. But the main idea is deeper. This is not just destruction. It is purification. This is not a continuation of the old world. Here the apocalypse is not the finale. It is a transition beyond the point of no return. Earth will survive everything. It already has. Mass extinctions, freezing, overheating, impacts from space. But each time, it changed, and life returned. And then the main question is not when the end of the world will come, but whether there will be a place for us in it. Perhaps the apocalypse is not the end, but simply the next version of the world. And we are just a brief moment between them. If this story made you think about how fragile our world is, leave a like to support the channel, and subscribe if you want to see more deep stories about space, reality, and what we still do not fully understand. Because sometimes, the most important answers begin with questions.